What's Papa Chop Squad? It's your boy Slate D-Biggs for AnimeMCS, back with some Chainsaw Man greatness. Today we're going to be talking Chapter 72 all together, but before we get into the chapter, I want to say thank you so much to everyone that's been watching the other Chainsaw Man videos, all the videos on the channel. I really appreciate it. You guys are dope, and I like that I can just make shit about things that I really enjoy, and people watch me talk about it. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with all of the dope anime and manga content that we'll be putting out. Also, we do the MCS Anime Podcast. It's me and my brother Abyss. We just did episode 11. We've covered a good number of anime so far, and the train's gonna keep on going. So without any further ado, let's get into this melancholy chapter. So there is a sweetness, a very melancholic feeling to this chapter. None of it's said or expressed, but I think Aki is coming to grips with the situation he's put himself in. Using that cursed weapon and doing so many things to cut his life down, I think whenever he gets a moment and everything is still, he regrets it. For a long time, he didn't have anyone to be there for him. He lost everything because of the Gun Devil, and he was willing to sacrifice the one thing he had, his life, to try and get revenge on the Gun Devil. I think that the shift we're seeing in Aki now is him realizing that Power and Denji are basically his family. It's a big shift from the beginning of the series, when it's also just kind of part of his personality to be the tsundere guy. But it's a defense mechanism. Once you lose everything and you get that feeling of losing something that was really important to you, meant the world to you, you don't want to go through that again. So ideally, why would you build connections with things ever again? And I think being forced into this weird housemate relationship with Denji and Power has changed his life overall for the better. It's kind of like he has kids to take care of. With their personalities and the way they act, I would relate Denji and Power to still kids, basically. I mean, Denji never even really had a childhood. He never had anything. This is the first, experience really bonding with people he's ever had, too. So, they are a weird, fucked up, but very, very sweet family. You know, don't mind if I munch on your arm a little bit and suck some blood. Oh, thank you. So some time has passed, and Power's been able to pretty much get over the just absolute trauma that she was going through. In this chapter, she's basically acting like she used to, like she always did, with a mention of the Darkness Devil for comedic purposes. But overall, while it did impact her for one chapter, it's kind of weird that she's just back to normal one chapter later. I'll take it for what it is and roll with it. So in this chapter, because they didn't go to Enoshima, they didn't go to the island, and we don't hear anything more about Makima in this chapter and what is going on, it'd be kind of cool if there's a little mini arc following just what she is doing exactly. But she's going to remain an enigma for a while now in the manga, from what I can see. Aki is heading up to Hokkaido to visit his family's graves. Denji and Power elect themselves to go because they didn't get to go on the Enoshima Island trip. We get a nice little montage of Denji and Power annoying the shit out of Aki, and then they're at the cemetery. He's just kind of thinking, looking at his family's grave, and then Denji and Power walk up eating fucking things that people left for their dead relatives, and it's rotten, of course, and that's where the comedic mention of the Darkness Devil comes in, when Power throws up some gross, rotten food and says, "It's the power of the Darkness Devil," kind of making light of the whole situation they just went through. It's fine. They're sitting down at the inn that they're staying at, eating dinner, but it's mostly vegetables, so they're like, oh, well, we'll eat whatever you don't want, Power. And she's like, okay, this and 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 this. So then her plate's pretty much empty. And she just grabs Denji's arm and starts sucking blood out of it. After this happens, while they're sitting there trying to eat food, Aki looks so distressed. Like, oh God. But he loves them. He loves them and he knows it. So Denji wakes up in the middle of the night and Aki has his hair down, sitting looking out the window at all the snow. And there's a really sweet moment where Denji gets up and sits in the chair across from him, and they just sit there and look out at the snow together. Aki tells him, every year when I went to visit their grave, I'd remember nothing but bad things. It was depressing. But this time, you guys were such pests that I didn't have the time to get lost in that. Which, he's not saying it, but there's a lot more there that he means. Like I said, he's kind of a tsundere, so he's just got to be like, I actually hate you guys, baka. So while they were gone on their trip, they gave Meowie to Kishibe to take care of. Aki goes to pick the cat up from Kishibe, and he asks him if Division 4 can pull out of the Gun Devil hunt. Aki expresses how he feels about Denji and Power a little bit to Kishibe even. Whenever he asks how it was exhausting. I'm not surprised. Denji and Power are a handful. Don't know how you're able to take them along. And Aki says their behavior shaped up some, as hard as it is to believe. Denji does as I say now, and Power stopped throwing vegetables. Listen. And then the bombshell. Aki is asking to pull out. And it's because he doesn't want Denji and Power to get hurt. He wants to spend as much time with them as he can, the little time that he has left, because they're a family now. Now, there's going to be something that happens that drags them in or changes just this mindset that he has right now. Overall, if they're not involved in this operation to take down the Gun Devil, they're not going to know anything about it because it's extremely classified. Like, even if they take the Gun Devil out, they're not even going to say anything about that. It's just no one's going to know about it. So the only way you can know if the Gun Devil that killed your family has, like, you got your revenge, you're only going to know if you go with us. And then Aki comes home to a wonderful home-cooked meal, courtesy of Denji and Power. Denji tells him that it's badass, it's so good, it's delicious, bro. And then he eats it, and he throws up all over the fucking place. And then they stop the act, and Power's like, it's a complete catastrophe. Now we've all barfed, says Denji. Shit, man. Funny. I like the comedy's coming back a little bit since all of the crazy action scenes are gone. I liked the character interactions a lot in this manga chapter. Very interesting to see the evolution of Aki overall. And you know what? I take back what I said. Maybe he does deserve to be third in the popularity poll. He's pretty cool. Thank you guys for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll talk at you next time. Peace out.